Good morning everybody and welcome to this week's edition of Show Us Your Kits here at Hobbies Australia. I'm Andrew and this morning we're going to talk about a couple of new brands to us here at Hobbies Australia, those being Freedom Models, Hero Hobby and a brand that we've had for a little while called Suyata. Okay, so let's get straight into these kits. All right, so the first brand that we'll look at this morning is Suyata. Now they've got a fairly diverse range of kits. They do some 148 military. They brought a Panther tank in a little diorama set with an overhead crane out late last year, early this year in 148 scale. Exceptionally well received, and we've got more stock of that particular kit inbound. They also did some, I guess for want of a better term, some anime style figures based on Japanese samurai foot soldiers. They do a really funky craft knife that's in the form of a Japanese katana, where you have the sheath and the handle, and you basically build your own craft knife or hobby knife. You then decorate it, paint it as you see fit, and it becomes a little bit of a focal point on your workstation. Really nicely done, very much left of centre, but real point of difference. They also brought out some of the Space Battleship Yamato, I think was the name of the series back in the 80s, 90s. They brought out some Japanese space battleships, which were really warmly received. And in this shipment that arrived just a couple of days ago here at Hobbies Australia, they've actually brought out some space submarines. Now they're based on the I-400 class of submarine that the Japanese Navy used during the Second World War. And we're going to have a look at a couple of those today. We're also going to have a look at some of their new figure sets that have come through, a couple of other bits and pieces. So let's hop straight into it, and we'll start by looking at the space submarines. So there's two different ones in this shipment. They base it, okay, as you can see there, both on the I-400 submarine and then the I-401. When you open the box, traditional side opening box, you're greeted with 4 bags of sprues, your instruction booklet, a few bits and pieces. So let's have the instruction manual, attractively done, well laid out. The build process on these models is not going to push you in any way, shape or form. If you're a fan of Gundam, you're really going to enjoy these types of kits, okay? They're a quick build, they're an easy build, they're multicoloured plastic, so you could build them straight out of the box as is, but with some weathering, with some detail painting, these kits will really pop. The moulds are crisp, they're clean, there's no flash, they're just really nicely done. Now Ryan will get some close-ups of the instruction booklet and we'll be able to have a look at that a little bit more in depth. These kits retail for $25 or around $25, and they're in the 1/700 scale. When you open the bag, you obviously get your instructions, you get a little decal sheet, pack of polycaps. Okay, so that little sheet of polycaps tells me that you're going to have parts on this model that you're actually are going to be able to adjust, and that's going to appeal to a lot of people. If we then look at the sprues themselves, the model, we can see that they're very well rendered, attention to detail, as I said, no flash, sprue attachment points aren't oversized, lots of surface detail, and as I pointed out before, multicoloured plastic. These, as a modeler, they're probably not going to push the boundaries. Your ability to paint and weather, that's where it's going to come down to the individual quality, the individual's attention to detail. I think these are a fun build. I think these are a funky build. These are the types of things that we've been looking at Hobbies Australia. During 2020, we saw the resurgence of the hobby industry as people were looking for activities they could do at home. We've seen a lot of resurgence in the modelling community, and what we're trying to do now is keep people engaged in modelling. So we're bringing in fun and funky and things that are a little bit left of centre that you may not normally think, but there is a demand for it out there in the market. So Suyata in our warehouse now, and shipping at the moment to retail stores and online retailers throughout Australia. So it will be available in stores probably by the time this video is put up online. So the next couple of kits we're going to have a look at here from Suyata are their 124 figures. The first shipment we got of these, there were a number of samurai based Japanese foot soldiers. Really, really nicely done. There are a couple of figures in each box and were very, very warmly received. I was a little bit taken aback by them because it wasn't something that I traditionally would consider modelling, but looking at the quality of the kit, really, really nicely done. These figures are in the 1/24 scale, so let's crack open a box and let's see what's in there. So, instructions are in a fold-out type format, okay? Double-sided, lots of information on there. Now, interestingly enough, because the majority of these instructions are foreign language, a lot of the painting, they don't particularly refer to a given brand, they just give you the colour. So it's then up to the modeller to source his or her favourite brand of paint and get something compatible, or alternatively, do your own thing. And because remember, that's what hobbying or modelling is all about. It's a totally unique hobby. It allows you, the modeller, to do as much or as little as you would like to do. There are no rights and there are no wrongs. It's just good fun. We have a decal sheet, and the decal sheet forms part of this little backdrop card. Nicely done. Okay, this is foldable, so you can actually make a little bit of a vignette showing your work off. And then we've got some decals in here which allow you to do something similar but on your own basis. So whether you put that on, say, some evergreen strip, evergreen stock card and built your own backdrop, you could certainly do that, but it's all supplied in the box for you. If we look at the parts, as we saw with their space submarines, they're crisply rendered, there's no flash marks. Again, we can see multicoloured plastic. So the basis is there for the modeller to do as much or as little as you prefer to do. Really nicely done. Again, shipping to stores now, retailing for around the $22 mark. We'll get some up-close photos of all these sprues, and these will pop up during the course of this video, so you can have a look at what we're talking about. Okay, and the next brand that we've got here that's landed in the warehouse in the last couple of days is Hero Hobby. Now, Hero Hobby, they don't do a lot of kits. What they basically do, though, is in 1/35, we have a lot of accessory packs, so things like Allied jerry cans, German jerry cans, 44-gallon drums, road barriers, brick walls, etc., etc. Really, really keenly priced. Recommended retail on these is under the $10 mark, or just on the $10 mark. I expect these sets to be very, very warmly regarded by modelers who are looking to build dioramas and who want to flesh out the background with things like fuel cans, etc., etc. Okay. The other thing they do is a range of vehicles. Kubelwagens in particular in this shipment. 1/35, nicely done, selling for $17. Pretty hard to beat that price point. Instructions are very, very straightforward. Get some close-ups of that for you to have a look at. Detail is quite good. And again, a little bit of flash on these, not a heck of a lot, but really nicely done. And at $17, a very, very sweet price point. So keep your eye open for Hero Hobby. We'll see more of this brand down the track, especially as they enlarge their range and we bring more and more of this stock to the local market. And the final brand that we're going to have a quick look at today is Freedom Models. Now, these, like these other brands that we've spoken about already this morning, they've been available in the Australian market for a little bit of time. They've been brought in by individual retailers and sold through shop fronts, through online portals, etc., etc. We have taken these brands at Hobbies Australia, and we're certainly not exclusive with these, but our thought process here is to get these brands out to the wider market, hence why doing things like these videos, exposing the brands to a whole range of retail stores, the width and breadth of Australia, who may not be aware of these brands. Freedom is very, very nicely done. Attractive box art, a range of 1/35 and also 1/48 subjects. Obviously 1/35 in their military, and here I have the Nike Hercules missile set. This is really, really nicely done and has proven to be extremely popular. We'll get some close-ups here of the sprues, but If we have a look here, box art, great. Have a look there on the side, all the various marking options, paint schemes, etc., etc. And then we have, what this model can do. So actually, as you can see here, you can have the launch rails can either be elevated or depressed as you see fit. That's all good. The moulding is crisp, it's clean, rivet head detail, no flash, really, really nice. It's quite a unique subject, the Nike missile. The only other one that I'm aware of was the old Atlantis set, which is quite some years old, but this has proven exceptionally popular. Nice, attractive marking instructions, really, really crazy camo setting marking option there for the South Korean military. That would probably send you a little bit, or the snow would send me a bit stir crazy painting that, but it's certainly an option there for modelers. The instruction booklet, A4, nicely laid out, clearly rendered, no real issues in here that I can see. Paint call-outs throughout the whole instructions, so yeah, nicely done and user-friendly. So we'll get some nice close-ups of those so you can see the detail. That's going to be really nice. In 148, they have a focus on military aircraft, and they do a mixture of pre-World War II, early World War II, up to the most modern of airframes currently in use around the world. Got the TF-20 Tiger Shark as an example, the United States Air Force, and then in the United States Navy, the X-47B, which is an air refueling drone. Really nicely done, very, very cutting edge, and should be exceptionally well received. Currently under review, or was under review by the United States Navy, a really cutting edge kit on some of the latest technology, military technology out there. Instructions, nice big colour call out, okay, that's great. Instruction booklet, again, folds out, lots and lots of options in there. We've got photo etch in this box, we've got the upgrade parts, as I said, which includes things like carrier deck crew, undercarriage, engine fins, etc., etc. Really, really nicely done. This kit's going to retail for about the $94, $95 mark, but there is an awful lot in this box. It's well packaged, it's well presented. Freedom models, I really think you want to keep your eye open on these moving forward, because they've got a very, very diverse range, and we're looking already at doing repeat orders on this because the pickup rate has been very, very good, and we're expecting quite a lot of things from this brand. So one of the standout new categories of modelling over the last 12, 18 months has been the range of SD or egg format, and we've got these in various styles here at Hobbies Australia. We saw them originally come out in AFV types, we've seen them come out in space, we've seen them come out in aircraft, and also now helicopters. And some of my favourites are the classic World War I aircraft. So next time we get together on our video, we're going to have a look at some of these SD or egg models in much more detail, so you can have a look at those ranges that are currently in stock or about to become available here at Hobbies Australia. Now, as always, please hit that subscribe button, the like. We always welcome your constructive criticism. So if there's anything that you'd like us to focus on, drop us an email, leave a comment. We'll take care of that from there. And look, as always, stay safe, take care. If you've got the chance, build more kits, and we look forward to catching up with you soon here at Hobbies Australia. All the very best. Thank you.